Here comes a new challenger!
Hello there everyone, and welcome to me ranking the Dragon Ball villains in, Dragon Ball. Now, some of these I'll just put in here as we go along, as I don't really care to talk about them, more so because, they're either from the games, which I don't really know them much of, or they're from Dragon Ball, which I don't really remember Dragon Ball, or, C, why am I rating them? And there are some copies here for whatever reason, so, you know, whatever. We may have opinions here, you know, and I hope that you enjoy. Now, of course, we have the best, top tier, high tier, mid tier, low tier, trash tier, and the worst. This is, of course, my opinion, so, you know, if you don't like my opinion, well, I'm sorry to tell you, but it's my opinion. So we're gonna get right to it with Android 13. And Android 13, he is alright. He's alright, like the whole idea of like, oh, Dr. Gero had even more androids, woo! And then, you know, he just sends them over to try to kill Goku, and they fail spectacularly, but that was still kind of cool. I mean, the idea, you know, even though I feel like it was kind of stupid because, you know, Toriyama's whole thing was he planned to make 19 and 20 be the main villains, and then his editor's like, no, make new ones, and then his 17 and 18, and then his editor's like, what? The villains are a bunch of teenagers? Throw them out! And then Toriyama's like, okay, now it's 13, 14, and 15. like instead of Cell, it's just 3 more androids. That's funny to me if that were to happen. Next we have 17 and 18. And I'm just gonna put these two together because, like, when it comes to them being villains up until the end of the Cell saga, they were. If we're talking, okay, we're gonna look at this from the perspective of the Future Trunks saga, and in which case, sure, if it's just Future Trunks' timeline, because in the Cell arc, they're antagonists. They're not villainous. Whereas in Trunks' future, they're evil. Like, they're evil. In the manga, in the anime, they have a scene with an old man, and 17, like, he's about to shoot him in the head, but Trunks saves the old man. But in the manga, Trunks didn't save that old man. He dies. So, yikes. You know, though in my opinion, because we don't really know much about the androids up until that point, we don't really know how or why they decided to go good or evil, but we understand why Trunks has to get stronger to defeat them, and because of that, I feel that the androids were definitely great. And definitely not like the best, but you know, they were alright. 17, 18 were alright. And then we have 19. 19 kind of sucks, who cares? He just, you know, the only reason why he gets an upper hand on Goku is because Goku had the heart virus, like that's it. And we have Android 21 and, whatever. Okay, another android, but she has Majin DNA and she gets hungry and tries to eat people. And yeah, I mean, she's okay. You know, in terms of looks, everyone goes bazunga, but for me, it's like, if we're rating character, I mean, what character is there to be? Though it is kind of weird, because, you know, we have Android 16, which I don't think is on here for, you know, whatever. Android 16, she's supposed to be the mother to 16 when 16 was still a human, and Dr. Gero, son, he modeled Android 16 out of his son, so Dr. Gero and 21 had a kid together at one point, and then they both became androids, well, cyborgs, but then they didn't because 21's an android. Gero is technically a cyborg, but he's an android, but he has his brain, but whatever, it's really stupid. And then we have Babidi. Again, Babidi's okay.
Just like, hey, I need to find the power to have Majin Buu unsealed. I need him to awaken. I need to get the power of the strongest.
You know, it's like the most he ever does is like, he gets Buu out, right? Because it's because of Spopovich and the other guy, I forget their names, that they get, you know, the power from Gohan. But, you know, he just awakens Boo. I mean, he sort of like matches the fights or whatever between the Z fighters and whatever, but it's like whatever. And then Boo's like,
I Boo really hate you.
and then Babidi's like, well,
What are you gonna do about it? Loser.
and then he dies, so, you know, whatever. Alright, next we have Baby, and Baby's a top tier. But for those who don't know, in these tier lists, I always rate the worst and the best as the last thing I do. Just so we're aware of that, you know? Alright, so anyways, so Baby, you know, Tefl, essentially, his story arc is a character who loathes the Saiyans, but ends up becoming, like, he hates the Saiyans because of their savagery and all this sort of stuff, but he ends up becoming the very thing he hates, both physically and metaphorically, because he takes over Vegeta, he becomes the Great Ape, he becomes a savage, killing people left and right. Like, there's even a moment where, in GT, where he turns into the Great Ape, he's just killing people randomly, and you'd think, oh, he lost control, but no, the entire time he had full control of what he was doing. You know, he just became the savage that he once hated, and because of that, well, things changed, so, you know, it is what it is. Though I do think it is kind of weird that, like, that Baby kind of grew inside of Vegeta, and because he grew, he was too big to fit in Vegeta's body, and so he had to leave Vegeta's body. That part was really weird, because, like, if you're supposed to be a parasite, then you can shrink and grow, but you grow up, and, like, it was really weird, that part. But otherwise, I think Baby's great. Baby's definitely a top tier villain. I hope that they make him like an actual canon character, because he's definitely a great idea. It's funny enough, Baby is one of the only good ideas that they actually successfully managed to make great. Because, like, other villains, there's like great ideas there, but it just falls short. We'll get to that when we get to that. But then we have Bojack. Bojack's like, he's basically just worse Cell, whatever. Broly. Alright, so let's get this over with. Alright, Super Broly, great antagonist. His story arc, you know, you have sympathy for the character, you understand the character, you know, it is what it is. You get it, right? You get why Broly does what he does, and you feel bad for him the entire fight. Like, when it comes to his fight with Gogeta, you're not rooting for Gogeta to win. You're rooting for Broly to snap back and not die because you feel bad for the character. But, you know, luckily he does snap back, and, well, you know, I love Super Broly. Super Broly has become one of, if not my favorite Dragon Ball character of all time. Kind of hard because, like, the two characters I balance between are either Future Gohan or Super Broly. I love both of those two characters so much. I really do. They're great. So then we have Broly. I don't know why there's two Brolys, so we'll just put that one there. We'll just go with this one. And look, in terms of, like, if we're talking about transformation, like, easily here, but Broly's he's not trash, right? He's not trash because he brings something interesting to the table. It's just that his story is so stupid. Like, if he hated, like, let me be honest, if a character hated Vegeta, he would have been here. But because he hates Goku, because Goku cried, it's so stupid. You could have easily made it something about Bardock, that Bardock affected Broly, or maybe Broly hated that, you know, Goku lived and he didn't, or something like that. But no, they just had Broly hate Goku because Goku cried. Like, first of all, the pods don't even look like they show each other really well, so like how would Broly even see him and remember, like, Goku's face? Like, I guess he remembers the hair, but, like, it's so stupid. It really is. So his motivation's the dumbest thing ever. But in terms of form and what he brings to the table in terms of lore, potential lore, I mean, it was interesting, but ultimately it falls short. I mean, I love Z Broly's like he's an actual villain compared to like his super counterpart, because, you know, his super counterpart is just, he's angry because of how he grew up and all this sort of stuff, whereas like Z Broly, he's just like, I'm going to murder you and I'm going to enjoy it. Your blood, I desire to drink it. You know, it's this sort of like that sort of type of character. He's insane and I love it. But if we're talking about like a genuine character, he kind of sucks. Oh yeah. All right, then we have Captain Ginyu. Captain Ginyu is actually really good because, you know, the Ginyu force was built up as like this, you know, force of 5 characters that are really strong, and you have Ginyu, and you wonder what makes Ginyu so strong versus the other 4, and you know, you learn. And he's very interesting how he is in like the Namek Saga, because like his whole main gimmick is that he can change bodies, and because of that, he really brought something interesting to the Namek Saga and to all of Dragon Ball in all honesty, because, you know, Goku has like this super powered body, and now Ginyu takes it, and now Goku is like, he's struggling because Ginyu, this very big brain that Ginyu does, he literally punches his heart, essentially. It's like his heart in his gut, bringing him an immense amount of pain, but he only does it so when Goku his changed bodies, Goku's the one struggling, whereas Ginyu's the one in the healthy body. It was very cool, it was very interesting. Ginyu was a very smart villain, and he just got outsmarted at the end when his body was crippled and he wanted to take Vegeta's body, you know, all this sort of stuff. So Ginyu is very interesting. I wish we did get to see more of him, and we technically did in Super, but then he just dies to Vegeta, so it's like whatever. I have Cell Juniors, and like, what? Why are they even here? All they do is serve as a okay. You could have easily have the Cell do exactly what the Cell Juniors did and just torment the Z Fighters. It would have been, and you could have had the exact same effect without needing to make them any more of a character. Now, don't get me wrong, I do love what Toyotaro did for the manga and Cell Juniors, as 17 essentially tamed the Cell Juniors. So that was quite interesting. I love that. But otherwise, but you know, that's like, they're good guys in that form as is. But like, when they fight Gohan, it's kind of like, why do they exist? As for Cell though, Cell's great. Cell's great. Cell's amazing. I love Cell. Cell's essentially, you know, the combination of, well, cells of all the other warriors, but he has their personality traits too. You can even see it, like, you know, his arrogance, all this sort of stuff, because of how he manages to essentially lose in the end. He was very arrogant, then Vegeta catches him off guard, and that's when Gohan defeats him, you know. So it was his very arrogance that he gained from all the other warriors that he lost. But at the same time, you know, because he understood the other characters so well, like Vegeta, because he knew how Vegeta was, because he has a bit of Vegeta in him, that he was able to take, essentially trick Vegeta into letting him go into his perfect form. Stuff like that. Cell was very smart. He was a very smart villain, and a part of me feels like, I feel like they did more with him. It's just that he has a very unfortunate flaw, and that is his design. There's so many spots, and I feel that because of all the spots on his body, they didn't really want to bring back Cell. It's like an animator's worst nightmare, you know. They should have just had his perfect form be super sleek instead of it just being spots everywhere. I feel Cell would have returned in Super in some way, if not for his overly complicated design. It's not complicated, like, it's very simple. But it's like how do you say, like in a 3D model, it'd be like a texture, right? Like, cause the texture of his body, it's very wrong. Then we have Cooler. Cooler's like just a mid-tier, wait, what? I didn't mean to pick Blue. I meant to pick Cooler. Cooler's just a mid-tier Frieza. You know, he's exactly everything about Frieza, but then he hates what Frieza is, but then he essentially turns into Frieza by the end of the movie. You know, like, he's like, I want a fair fight, but then he doesn't make it a fair fight, and then he's just, it's really stupid. So Cooler kind of sucks, kind of blows. I mean, he has cool moments, but again, I'm not rating this based on cool moments. I'm rating this based on, you know, wow, how the character is. Then we have Deborah. What the, no. Then we have Deborah. Deborah's okay. He sucks though. He's just, all he really is at the end of the day is just build up for Boo. Like, sure, he turns, like, I believe it was Krillin and there was someone else who turns into like a stone statue, but at the end of the day, he's just a filler villain for the real villain, you know. And there's no build up to Deborah. He just dies. That's it. Whoop-de-doo. Who cares? Moving on. King Cold's actually trash. I'll be honest. like, in the Broly movie, we do get a bit more character. You know, he's like, oh, you know, he used to run the Saiyans, but then he gave it over to Frieza. And then, like, when you see him again, he just sort of is like, oh, Frieza dear, aren't we going to Earth to beat Goku? And Frieza's like,
Yes, father, but I would want to defeat the Goku on his planet, but I want to kill all his friends first. Wahoo wee ha wee wee wah.
and then they go to Earth, and then Trunks stops them, and there's something else to King Cole. In terms of lore, I would say he brings a lot, but then again, it's never really explained how much he gives basically to that universe. It kind of feels like Frieza was the majority of what King Cole should have been, but whatever. And this character I don't really care about. This character, he's good. He's alright. He's definitely alright. I mean, you know, kind of gave us a sense of how Frieza and his men were. Good example, you know, showing us what Frieza's army is essentially capable of. And what else can I really say other than just gets bodied by Vegeta? And it's alright. He's alright. But Dodorian, I believe that's how you say it. He's alright. He's just okay. He's just okay. And I got Dr. Gero. Dr. Gero's interesting. Brings a lot of lore, first of all, because, you know, Red Ribbon Army, you know, defeated by Goku. He wants to exact revenge on Goku. A lot of his actions affect the Cell and the Cell Saga and Trunks' future. You know, Dr. Gero, even though he died pretty early on in the Android Saga, all things considered, he definitely left an impact on the arc. So yeah. Then we have Ice Shenron. I'm trying to get through this as fast as possible. Who cares? He's just a villain for villain's sake. Frieza's top tier. I don't think you need me to explain why he's top tier. He's a great villain. He's really great. I don't think I have to explain it for me to just like go ooga googa. He's a great villain. You don't need me to explain it. You have Garlic. Who cares about Garlic? It just shows up and dies. I don't know. I actually watched this movie. It's like it's supposed to be Baby's story again, but even worse somehow. Like I don't like just I mean not even worse. I mean it's just worse Baby's story. Like I don't get it. I know they aren't called the Truffles, by the way. I know it's the Sulfurians, but Truffles is just way easier for me to remember. Maybe for Rudagon, it's just a villain for villain's sake. I mean he tormented Tapion and his brother, but like the most character you get in that movie is for Tapion, you know what I mean, and his relationship with Kid Trunks. Then we have Hit. Hit's a top tier antagonist. It's not a villain, obviously, but he is an antagonist. And the reason why I say he's top tier is because he's not the strongest fighter, right, you ever meet. But he really brings something that I wanted out of Dragon Ball for a long time. And that is, it isn't whether or not who's stronger, it's about who has the better techniques. And all Hit is techniques. Like he's strong too, don't get me wrong, but majority of his thing is just techniques. Very good and powerful techniques, and because of that I feel like Hit was very interesting and really brought what I wanted from Dragon Ball. And unfortunately, you know, we don't see him much often anymore, but he was definitely a great antagonist to have. It felt more like classic Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, where it was I mean sure there was who was stronger, but it was also about how a character could have been clever in using their techniques and skills against the other opponent, even if they were weaker, right? So then we have Janemba. Janemba's just evil incarnate. He's okay, he's cool, right? First you have the big fat version, and then he goes skinny and he goes wah wah wee wah, and he's really cool. He's really animated amazingly, but that's really about it. I don't know what to tell you other than he's okay. He's alright. You know, there's not much character to him. He just exists, right? And then we have Jiren. And in terms of story, Jiren's just low tier, of course. Like Jiren, literally the only thing that makes Jiren cool is Datadoya. That's the only reason why Jiren's cool, is because of Datadoya and the whole try something. That's it. That's the only reason why this character is cool. And that's it. Nothing else. Otherwise, Jiren is just a character who, you know, at least, okay, in the manga, he's a bit better. But considering that the anime portrayed him first, I'm gonna go off of that. And with that, Jiren in the anime is some trash. Alright, if we're talking like manga, he'd probably been mid tier. He's not that much better in the manga. You know, it's just that he actually does things in the manga, whereas in the anime he just sort of sits around, and then the last few episodes finally give him focus. You know, like why wasn't he eliminating other people, whatever? You know, like he doesn't. I don't even think he gets a single elimination off from the anime, if I remember. Like I don't think he gets one. So, except hit. He gets hit, but that's it. Like that's the only one he gets, and I guess Vegeta also. You know. But otherwise, what can I say? What can I say? He's just okay. Like he's not even like an amazing antagonist. He's just you know, trust issues, all this sort of stuff. I feel like they could have done a lot better, but they didn't. It is what it is. Then we have Kid Buu. Kid Buu's not a character. He's just a force of nature. He's not trash tier because, I mean, he becomes Oob. That's the only reason why he's not in trash tier. He's just a force of nature. King Piccolo's top tier, you know me explain it. Meanwhile, we have this, who's just worse King Piccolo. Lord Slug sucks. Now we have Majin Buu. Majin Buu's actually alright. He's okay, for the most part. I feel like he only really served to do that whole Vegeta sacrifice moment, which was kind of pointless because Majin Buu still lives. And then Goku could have defeated him, but then he lets him go. And then he really stops being a villain after that because I think he meets up with Hercule at that point. So, whatever. However, Super Buu is based. Alright, Super Buu is definitely better than the other two versions of Buu. Because when he actually has a character, he's funny, he's intimidating, right? Everything about him is just cool. He's smart, he's intelligent, you know? He's great. Okay, I mean, he's still not much of a character, so I guess I'll put him in high tier, but Super Buu's amazing. Super Buu's great. Like, Super Buu is definitely way better than most villains. Like, he's very tactical, and what else can I say? You know, he's very smart. The only time he wasn't really smart was against Vegito, but in all fairness, he was so overwhelmed by Vegito's power that anyone would be frustrated at that point. So I feel for the guy. I understand that portion. But up until, you know, like even with Super Gohan, oh jeez, I accidentally pressed a button. Gohan he's just like, oh, I'm gonna beat you. Oh no, actually I can't say what he says in the original Japanese seed, but I really wish I could. I would want to bring up what he says in the original Japanese line to Super Buu, and Super Buu's like, what you call me? It's great. I love Super Buu. I imagine Vegeta. Don't get me wrong, I love Majin Vegeta, but at the same time, a part of me wants to just put him down here. It feels weird to me because, like, the problem isn't Majin Vegeta, rather what happens with Majin Vegeta and what surrounds Majin Vegeta. For instance, his fight with Goku. He wanted to fight Goku in his strongest. It's the whole reason why it's one of the few reasons why he went and allowed Babidi to quote-unquote control him. It's, you know, it's why he killed all those people. He wanted to fight Goku, but, you know, he wanted to fight Goku in his full strength, and Goku's like, nah, Beeb, I'm sorry, I got my Super Saiyan 3, and I'm not gonna use it against you. So Goku could have won the fight the entire time, and he just chose not to, which was pretty scummy. And then you have the sacrifice, which again means nothing because Buu lived. So, yeah, you know, it's just, Vegeta died, right? I mean, it's a very heart-wrenching scene, don't get me wrong, but, like, the sacrifice kind of just like, whatever, you know? It was a touching moment, I get that, like, it made me cry, but I can't really say that scene, like, the result of what happened afterwards made it any better, you know? So it kind of just feels like Majin Vegeta is a great idea, because, like, obviously, Vegeta wouldn't just let go of everything, even after Cell was defeated, right? You know, like, he was on good terms with his son, but in terms of his personality, it was pretty much the same since, well, Frieza saga. It's just he's not as evil, but then he's like, I'm evil again, you know. But it is what it is. So then we have like Zamasu, which there's base Zamasu, emerge Zamasu, and this Freakazoid. So we're gonna put this Freakazoid here because I mean there's really no point, and we might as well rate Goku Black on the same time at the same time. So this is my opinion on Zamasu. Zamasu, very similar to Baby, he essentially becomes the very thing he hates. Both Zamasu, Goku Black, and Zamasu, right? Now, in a sense, they are three different characters, but in my opinion, they're okay. They're okay. I feel out of all of these, like if I had to rate them, Goku Black is definitely much stronger than Zamasu / Merge Zamasu. But the problem is for me, because again, like the arc wrapped up in the anime, I want to say, yeah, it wrapped up in the anime before the manga, and you know, and regardless of which version you read, it's like I love the idea that Zamasu becomes the very thing he hated, which was like, you know, he hated mortals for their savagery, and here he is becoming a savage himself. But then like he becomes part of the universe, and in the manga it's like there are several Zamasus, so it's like, huh? And then it was really stupid, and he's just like, I want to kill everything, and yeah, I just want to kill immortals, but it is what it is. I just realized that Super Buu is down here, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna move Super Buu here. We're gonna move this Super Buu here. Why are they separated? Literally the exact same character. Whatever. This thing is stupid. Either way, my whole thing with like Goku Black, the reason why I think Goku Black was a lot better than Zamasu is because I feel Goku Black had the better intro, and I feel if Goku Black and Zamasu weren't a thing together, like if the villain was just Black, definitely would have been a lot better. In my opinion, I think Zamasu holds back Goku Black. I think Zamasu holds back the potential of Goku Black. Like the tag team is way more interesting than the fusion, because you essentially have a Goku Black who's a powerhouse, right? He has all this strength, all this energy, and then you have Zamasu who's immortal. He can't die, you know, and I guess he can't feel any pain. So because Zamasu is immortal and Goku Black's this powerful thing, essentially you have the sword and you have the shield, and the shield is like super overpowered, and then you have the sword, which is also super overpowered, you know. And so Zamasu can tank hits. He can like they had scenes where Zamasu had Goku like on the side of a building, and then like he kind of shocks Goku, kind of spooks Goku, and then Black stabs right through Zamasu into Goku, and Zamasu's not gonna feel it because he's immortal. But then when they merge, like I get the idea, and that's why he's high tier. Because honestly, if it wasn't for the fact that Zamasu essentially, as Merge Zamasu essentially becomes the very thing he hated, I would have put Merge Zamasu in mid tier. Because I feel like the arc should have just been Goku Black and Zamasu separate at the very least, or just Goku Black. I don't know. I feel the more I look at the arc, it disappoints me more and more. I'll say that much. So yeah, there you go. Game, I don't really care. Look, all right, we all know who's the best now, but I'll put him down here. I don't really care too much. I want to reread the manga from Moro. I feel, because like I read the manga monthly when it showed up, but a lot of people say it's better to reread the Moro saga when you read it like throughout. So instead of like reading per month, just read it in one whole sitting. So I'll give Moro another shot. I don't know if I'll like him, but because of that, but I'll give him another shot. Then we have Nappa. Nappa's great. Nappa essentially, he kind of just he kind of makes you wonder how strong Vegeta is in a sense, because you have this big burly guy who made much bigger than Vegeta, and he defeats like all the Z Warriors single-handedly, except Chiaotzu, because Chiaotzu goes bye-bye, and Yamcha, of course, for obvious reasons. But like he as a character is just so how do I say? He's not interesting. He's not a very in-depth character, honestly. But in terms of like what he represents and what he brings to the table, I think he's definitely a high tier. I think we have I forget which Shenron he is specifically, All I know is that this dude's a top tier. I love the fact that he's a villain, but he's a villain who's he's a very, how do I say, he's very honorable because he is the 4-star Dragon Ball, the very same Dragon Ball that Goku essentially looked after. That was Grandpa Gohan's Dragon Ball, and so essentially he has personality traits of Goku, and because of that I feel he's so much more interesting than all the other dragons just by that alone, because he's not really a villain, you know, and he even tries helping Goku through in the fight against Omega Shenron. So I think personally he's honestly one of my favorite characters in all of Dragon Ball. I know that in fighters they're likely to bring Omega Shenron and never him, but he is so much more interesting than, like, I wish he was the villain of the 7 dragons. I wish he was the one that that everyone was fused into, because he is so much more interesting than everyone else. I'm just gonna be honest, he's definitely way better. Because next up we have Omega Shenron. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, Omega Shenron sucks. He's okay, you know. It just feels like he takes away a good character, and then, like, the whole idea is that because he has all the Dragon Balls of all the other dragons, he has all their abilities, but he doesn't really use them to their full advantage. Like, wouldn't it be great if he used, like, the Mist Cloud that drains energy throughout the entire fight? Like, they obviously didn't utilize Omega Shenron to his max potential because he had like all these overpowered abilities that they gave to the dragons separately, but then when it came to Omega Shenron, they were like, no, we're not going to utilize all these moves. Omega Shenron is literally just a villains for villain's sake. Like, he's not really in depth. He's not even that smart. I'm gonna be honest. It's just whatever. Then you have Pui Pui, blah blah blah. He's okay. He's okay. He's just fodder to Vegeta. Anyway, Raditz. Raditz is a top tier character, right? You may be asking yourself, huh? Raditz top tier? Why is that? Let me tell you why Raditz is top tier. Okay, Raditz is top tier solely for the fact that without Raditz, there is no Dragon Ball Z. There is no Saiyan Saga onward. I mean, there probably would have been a Frieza Saga because Frieza would have eventually gone to Earth, you know, but Raditz is a character who, you know, how do I say this? Raditz, you were introduced to him as Goku's brother. He's a mysterious, you know, warrior from outer space, you know, and then he introduces himself as Goku's brother. He defeats Krillin with his tail. He completely dominates Goku and Piccolo, and if not for Piccolo's and Goku's teamwork, he would have killed them both easily. And you know, because of him, Vegeta and Nappa show up, and I feel like Raditz doesn't get the respect he deserves. And because of Raditz, we really got a more grand scale to the world of Dragon Ball. I feel Raditz is definitely one of the best things about Dragon Ball, and I'm so happy he's here. Me personally, I'm very happy. I don't really remember you too much. I just know that you were in the same arc that Baby was introduced in, yada yada. And now, of course, this is top tier. No, I'm just playing. You know they're trash. Well, all they do is they're essentially the same thing as the Cell Juniors. They didn't need to be there, especially when you have a scene where Krillin literally destroys them all, but one of them killed Yamcha. Like, they posed no threat other than to kill Yamcha. Whatever. Like, why are they even here? You know, I didn't even care too much about Cooler, and I don't care too much about his lackeys, so whatever. I don't know who this is. Swopovich, he's just a brute. I don't care to rank you. You suck. I hate you. I despise Super 17. I don't know much about you. I don't care about you. Zarbon's alright. Definitely better than Dodoria. He lasts around much longer. But in the end of the day, he kind of feels like he's definitely not. Like, where to put him here? Look here. He's better than Dodoria because, you know, one, he's much more interesting. You know, he has the whole, the beauty, but then the beast within arrives and defeats Vegeta. But then Vegeta's like, alright, now I'm stronger, and now I kill you, bada boom, you know? So he kind of just serves as, like, a point for Vegeta, more so than himself as a character. I mean, You know, like, we know he's obviously really strong for him to just defeat Vegeta so easily in their first fight, but otherwise, he's alright. He's alright, you know. Definitely doesn't live up to expectations. Turles is a high tier character. I do be spitting this one around. Turles is essentially the actual original Goku Black. He essentially is the character that, in a weird way, is what Goku would have been if Goku didn't go to Earth. And didn't just, you know, hi, name's Goku. I'm a Saiyan raised on Earth. Turles is literally like, huh? Yo, my name's Turles. I'm a Saiyan. Yeah, that's it. I'm here to kill you all and take your planet and grow a funny tree. Turles, like the idea, and he was executed quite well, but Turles as a character made sense for me to put up there because he represents what Goku, like an evil Goku, really is. Like, Goku Black's not an evil Goku. He's just a villain inside of Goku's body. Whereas Turles is actually what an evil Goku would have been, and I found it interesting. I did, you know. I really liked the idea, so that was cool. And then of course we have Vegeta during the Saiyan Saga up until the Frieza Saga, because he was practically a villain during the Frieza Saga, and he was great. I don't think I have to explain what made Vegeta during those arcs so great, but he's great. He's great. And now obviously we have to go for the best and the worst. So let's go for the worst first. So from the worst we have only 4 options. And obviously because I didn't elaborate too much on why I hated him so much, it's obviously Super 17 that I hate the most. Super 17 is everything wrong of what I hate about Dragon Ball. Like, okay, so Dr. Geru, or Dr. Mew, which surprisingly wasn't on here, and Dr. Gero, they meet in Hell. They make a 17, another 17 in Hell, and then he goes, because there's 2 17s for whatever reason, the 17 on Earth and then the 17 in Hell, they have a connection, and then when they combine, they combine the realm of Hell and Earth, and then all the villains start terrorizing the planet, and then 17 is like, he's Super 17, and he just kills Krillin, and he's like a real jerk to 18. He's like, 18,
Come with me, let's become together and rule this stupid planet.
you know, like, oh my goodness. His arc isn't even that long. It's like a few short episodes. But those few short episodes, I can't even speak. I hate him so much. Those few short episodes really not elaborate, but really show what I hate about this character. He's just a guy that exists to be strong for strong's sake. You know, he's not even a character in Super 17. He's just a plot device for the whole Hell comes over to Earth, right? Because we need a reason for the Shadow Dragons to exist, and we need Goku and the others to summon the Earthlings back after we literally just saved them from planetary destruction. Whatever. Wahoo! Wahoo! Hey! Like, so it's so stupid. It's so stupid. I hate 17. Like, I hate Super 17. Everything he is, everything he represents in GT is like, he's the character I loathe the most. I hate his existence more than anything else. His design isn't even cool. Like, I hate everything about Super 17. In my opinion, the worst Dragon Ball character. You may be saying, but Sab, at least he has character compared to like Cell Jr. and the Cybermen, right? Yeah, but you know what? I'd rather take the Cybermen and Cell Juniors and King Cold than I would Super 17. At least they died faster, or at least it felt like it. You know, Super 17, he stays around for so long, and it's so stupid how they kill him. Like, okay, so he absorbs energy through his chest, not his arm, not his palms, even though he has the exact same thing as Dr. Gero in 19, where he can absorb through his palms, but he absorbs through his chest, and then because he absorbs so much energy, Goku does the King Piccolo to him, and he dies, and it's so stupid. I just hate Super 17. But in terms of the best Dragon Ball has to offer, right? Between these 9 characters, who is my personal favorite, right? Because I know for a lot of people, they'd probably put Vegeta or Frieza, right? But for me, personally, as crazy as it sounds, I really like Baby. I really like Baby. I really, really like him. Because Baby, as a character, he has everything about a character that I like. He's a character that, he's a villain, sure, but he's a villain because of vengeance. He wants revenge for what happened to his race, essentially, and he wants to destroy the savage Saiyans that he grew to loathe so much. He is cold, he is calculating, he is smart. That's one thing, right? Like when you think Trunks defeated him, right? Trunks got a cut from him, and you know, we didn't know like would that mean anything later on, but it did, right? Because Trunks was, you know, we know that Baby can control people, I believe at that point, but we thought, okay, Trunks was fine, but then, you know, we get to Earth and no, he's not fine. Trunks was taking over the entire time, and Baby essentially controls the entire planet. And the whole thing about him essentially becoming the very thing he hates is one of the most wonderful things they've done with Dragon Ball, in my opinion. I genuinely believe that if Baby wasn't in GT and wasn't Super, like the exact same character, I feel a lot of people would appreciate this character more, but because he is in GT and everyone just feels like because GT bad lol, that Baby is kind of like, you know, he's kind of just like the character that is in GT, people hate GT, therefore Baby, he's not that great, because if GT was good, I mean, if GT had any good in it, then why don't people praise it? But Baby's legitimately one of the greatest things to come out of Dragon Ball. Like, I do genuinely believe that. You know, don't get me wrong, I love Frieza, I love Vegeta, but with Frieza, it always felt like he was just villain for villain's sake, which, I mean, it pretty much is. And in the case of Vegeta, he's not really a villain throughout the entire series, you know what I mean? He just is, right? And even though I said Super Broly's like arguably my second or favorite character of all time, he's still not a villain, and I don't sympathize with him in that sense. And like, he's not as smart as Baby. Baby is calculating, and Baby led to some of the most crazy reveals to me, in my opinion. Like, he literally murdered hundreds of people as a great ape, and you think, oh, well, you know, he became a savage. No, he's just doing it on purpose. He's become the very thing he hated, you know. And well, sure, the way he was defeated and how Gohan Super Saiyan 4 is kind of dumb, but I feel Baby it's kind of funny. I feel Baby completes Goku in a way that no other like arc has, you know, with the whole Super Saiyan 4 transformation and Goku essentially accepting himself as a Saiyan, which has been done numerous times, don't get me wrong, but I feel it was done super well because of how these two characters interact. You know, even though Baby and Goku don't have a history together, it's the past, like the history of their race and all these sort of things. It's great, it's wonderful. You know, I will say GT fails in a lot of things. GT 1,000,000% fails in a lot of things. But I feel Baby is just not one of them. You know, GT as a franchise is literally just great ideas, poor execution, but Baby is the one thing that it was great about. It was legitimately great. I love Baby. He's my favorite villain of all time. He's not my favorite character, you know? He's not my favorite character, or whatever the case may be. You know, he's in the top 10, but I love this character, and I wish people gave him a bit more credit than they actually do, because Baby's sick. Baby's sick. I was so hyped when Baby was announced for Fighters, even though it was leaked, and then everyone was so happy about Baby, and then Gogeta 4 kind of took a spotlight. But I was so happy because, like, I remember I made my Fighters prediction video, and I said that SSJ4 Gogeta and Omega Shenron would be the last two of the current season, and then when I found out it was Baby, I was so happy you wouldn't believe it. I was legitimately ecstatic that Baby was part of the roster. Baby's great. I love him. I really do. And I hope that he gets more acknowledgement, like, as an actual genuine character. That's my only hopes. But yeah, that's my tier list of all the antagonists. like I said, Moro, my opinions, I don't really have much, because, like, again, I feel like I should reread the manga. And to those asking, well, why didn't I reread the manga for this tier list if I plan on to? I don't plan on doing that for a while. I just don't. Super kind of disappoints me anyways, you know? Super kind of just, eh. So what I'm gonna do is, I'll read it at a later point. Much later point. As for the rest of them, I don't really care to either rank them or because they're just copies of their characters. I don't know why they're there. But yeah, it is what it is. I hope you enjoyed my thoughts and opinions on Dragon Ball villains, and maybe, you know, you could just use this as, like, you know, maybe use this as background noise, and it's fine. That's perfect for this sort of thing. You know, it's just me discussing what I feel about Dragon Ball characters. And yeah, that's the tier list. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you if you have, you know, if you have any questions or would like to comment on certain things, hey, you know, let me know. It has been a while since I watched GT, so I might be overrating Baby, but then again, like the last time I watched GT was a few months ago. You know, it's still fresh in my head. I love Baby, if you can't tell, man. And I actually gave, you know, I know I'm extending this even more, but I should have also said that Baby also brings the whole Goku versus Vegeta thing in a logical sense, in my opinion, right? Whereas like when in Super they have like Goku and copy Vegeta, that was so stupid. Like like I feel like if they ever try a Goku versus Vegeta thing, it can't be for like, I want to kill you whatever. It has to be like a training thing, because if they try pulling another Majin Vegeta, it's just gonna be so much worse. But anyways, okay, now I'm done. I hope you guys take care, be safe out there, and let's try getting to 1,000 subs before the end of the year. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. See you guys in the next video. Peace.
I'm coming through, partner, we can do this right. You're the fire, I'm the wind tonight. Burning dread, haha, that's right, baby.